channel, AllasYummyFood. So in my recent videos, you've seen that I went to New York and I tried something amazing, Cruffins. If you don't know what Cruffin is, it's basically a mix between muffin and a croissant. And that's what we'll be making today. I'm gonna show you how to make this at home with very simple ingredients. We don't need eggs, we don't need milk. Ingredients are so simple, you'll be shocked. And not to tell how delicious they are. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Now let's get baking.
Into a bowl, add warm water. Make sure it's lukewarm, not hot or cold. Then add sugar and then add your yeast. You want to mix everything together and make sure you've got everything mixed through. And we're going to set this aside for about 15 minutes for yeast to rise. After 15 minutes, you can see yeast has risen like that. Next, add flour into your stand mixer. Then add sugar. Mix everything together so the sugar and flour are mixed in. Then add your yeast mixture, which is already puffed up. Mix everything one more time. Then add your melted cold butter. You can melt this in a microwave before and then leave it aside for a couple of minutes to cool down. Keep mixing your dough. This process takes a while, so if you're doing this by hand, you will need to knead the dough for about 15 minutes or so. And even in a stand mixer, it took me about 10 minutes. I actually set the timer, so make sure you knead this dough for a long time. Because we're not using eggs or milk, the dough is much easier to break apart, so it needs a lot more kneading. Once it's done, you can see it becomes nice and soft, just like this, and almost very stretchy. We're gonna leave it to rest, so it become even softer, but a good test is just to take a little bit of dough, stretch it, and see if it doesn't break completely, then we can leave it to rest. Add a little bit of butter into your bowl. You can also use oil. Then add your dough and then cover the whole bowl in cling film and place it in a warm place in your house for about 1 hour or so. This process can take an hour and a half depending on your warm spot in your kitchen. Once your dough has risen, it will look just like this. It should double in size. Take it out of your bowl and place it on a counter. You will feel how much softer the dough is. It will be like, I don't know, like a piece of cloud in your hands. It's so elastic and super smooth. Just look at this. And it's so beautiful. We're gonna divide the dough in half and then each half into 3 pieces. So we need to get 6 equal pieces of dough. I did measure mine on the scale to make sure they were all even size. So if you want to do that, you can. Otherwise, if you don't have scales, just do it by the eye. Then fold each piece of your dough inside, just like that, to create mini doughs. And then place them onto your counter and cover them with cling foil for about 30 minutes or so. Once your dough has rested, you can see it's even doubled a little bit in size. Flour the surface everywhere onto your rolling pin, onto the dough and onto the counter, and gently start rolling out your piece of dough into a large string. This process doesn't take very long, but you have to just be very gentle and very careful. We want to roll out the dough starting from the end and then kind of moving upwards. What helps if you hold the dough at the bottom and then keep rolling out the top. And then sometimes what I did as well, I used to hold the dough in the middle and just kept rolling up as I go. You want to create a very thin piece of dough, so it's almost transparent. I'm gonna lift it up just to show you how thin the dough is. So if you've got one of these pasta machines, you can actually put the dough through and it will be just very nice and thin. I don't have it, so I have to do this manually. Just keep rolling the dough until it's transparent in most parts, just like this. Be really careful not to break the dough as it is very gentle. Then take your softened butter and add butter everywhere. So using your fingers, I prefer to use the fingers so you can feel the dough. Spread the butter all over the dough, starting from the top, going into the middle, and all the way to the bottom and the sides. So roughly split your butter between 6 rolls. Then you want to start from the very end and start rolling your dough into this little tube like this. Start rolling it all the way to the very end. And just be very gentle and slow. Make sure you kind of press down as you roll so there's not much air. Once you get to the bottom, just keep going. Don't worry if the sides are a bit thinner than the middle. That's absolutely fine because you can't evenly roll out the piece of dough. So once you kind of get to the end, you will get a nice sausage just like that. And what you want to do, you want to stretch it out. So add a little bit of flour and then gently press on your sausage roll and stretch it out even more. Now you want to do the rest of your dough. So keep going around with each piece, stretching it out and repeating the process as before, adding butter and then rolling it into sausage. I decided to experiment with my next one, and I decided to add cinnamon sugar into the mixture. So you can completely do this if you want to. It's also very nice. The buns come out very, very crispy and cinnamony, but you don't have to. But I just thought I wanted to show you another way, so almost you're getting 2 recipes in one. Then once your dough is rolled out, you want to take a really sharp knife, and you need to make sure your knife is sharp. You want to cut right in the middle. So you cut right in the middle, just like so, and then separate it. Be really careful not to press on the dough because you want to keep all the layers. I'm just going to show you all the layers. So once it's all cut, you want to almost fold it into a nice flower. So start from the top and then move around the dough with the cut side open so that you can see all your layers that we rolled out. And then pinch the end of the dough right at the bottom. So you're almost creating like a beautiful flower just like that. You want to repeat this process with all the strings. So essentially we're making 12 muffin cruffins, cruffins, because we're cutting each dough into half. If you wanted to make more, you can do more, of course. Once you finish all your cruffins and you've added them into your muffin pan, you don't need to add any oil or spray with anything as the pastry has butter, so they will not stick. And you want to cover the tray with cling film and set this aside for about 45 minutes again, up to 1 hour, until they puff up. Once they puff up, you can see that they have risen and they look absolutely beautiful and just so nice. And they smell already so delicious. We're gonna bake these in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're done and golden. Once they're golden, you want to take them out and it smells incredible. Place them onto a cooling rack to cool down completely. And I'm just gonna show you, this is how it looks. You have like a muffin type of base at the end, and then you have a croissant top, which has many, many crunchy layers. I like to fill my cruffins with strawberry jam, so I'm using a piping bag and I'm gently pressing inside each cruffin and filling it up with strawberry jam. You can leave them plain if you wanted to as well, it's completely up to you. Lastly, add some powdered sugar. And there you go, guys. Look at these beautiful cruffins. Aren't they just amazing? These top ones are with cinnamon and sugar, and then these ones are with jam. They're so soft and delicious. Let me try one.
Okay, I think it's time to try this goodness. The pastry is so flaky. So flaky and crunchy at the same time. Oh my god. This is life. I have a bite where it's like the middle. Just look at that. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and you'll be making these soon. Enjoy, bon appetit!